Right guys, welcome down to the Quest Golf Academy and the Quest for the Open video on Sunday and a Quest for the Open practice diary video all at the same time. And this is quite a big one for me because this is all about the changes that I'm going to be making within my swing, within my technique, well, some of them anyway, certainly over the next few months. And this is something that I'm going to be revisiting over time, so I'm going to be re-looking at my swing, what can I improve more upon, but today is going to be those first big steps towards improving my swing going forwards. So first of all, why am I making these changes? Why now as well? And is this a good time of year to make these changes as well? I think first of all, a lot of you would have watched the round recap from the Play Series event at Preston, and in that I was just explaining how much I was playing at a level which I'm comfortable at, which is around level par, just under, just over. And that's been pretty consistent throughout the last year and a bit. So I need to start making changes which will allow me to go much lower when I play. Now, a lot of these are technical, some of these are mental, and I'm going to be obviously documenting the whole process as I pretty much do with everything. As far as making the changes now, we're moving into the winter. You know, we're not going to be playing that many serious competitions. It gives me a chance to really work on my game and work hard on my game. If you guys at home are thinking about changing stuff within your swing, now is the time to do it because you've got the whole winter to practice, to groove it, getting ready for next year. And certainly with my diary down here at the Academy, that's what I've started to see, people filling it up, wanting to improve over the winter months. So it's the perfect time to start improving your game, not only for me, but for everyone else as well. So what I'm going to do, and the way I'm going to structure this video, is I'm going to get warmed up. I've got an idea of what I want to change because I've had these things in mind for a few weeks now about what I want to do within my swing and the stuff that I want to see change and improve. But I'm just going to get loosened up, and then I'm going to take some club head data, I'm going to take some swing data, I'm going to get myself filmed on the videos here as well, go through them and analyze them with you, and then see what you guys think. I'm pretty excited about the changes, and I'm pretty confident that once I get these changes in, I'm going to be a much better golfer more consistently, which I'm obviously very excited about. Right, let's get loosened up. Right then, so what I've done is I've had my warm-up, I've hit my shots, and then I've done a few swings trying to affect the changes that I want to see. And I'm going to talk you through the differences that I want to see within my full swing technique. Now, here is what you would class as my current swing, so the swing that I've been using most recently. Setup is looking pretty strong. I think I've always had a little bit of an issue with having quite a lot of knee flex within my technique, but I like the way that that feels. It makes me feel quite strong, quite stable. Having said that, there is a little bit of change as far as my weight distribution as I go back, and that's something I'll look to change going forward, but it's not the biggest concern right now. My biggest concern right now, as you can see as I take the club away, so hands are a little bit lower address, you can see as I take the club away, he's tracking along my shaft line, and then he moves up, and you can see from this point here, as I reach this point in my swing, how my hands and arms start to lift up, but also how I then start to move more towards the ball. So I start to move more on top of the ball as I get to this point in my swing. When you couple this up with the fact that you'll see from this front-on view, as I reach the top of my swing here, I don't get a full shoulder turn. I get a nice left arm extension. I get up to an half decent position at the top of my swing here, but I don't get that rotation. Now, what that has been leading me to do is certainly get a little bit quicker from the top of the swing, but also because I move more towards the ball, because my hands and my arms lift up and they get very close to my body here. You can see my left arm position is quite high and my right arm is very, very close to my body. It gets me into a very high position. Now, from this high position, I'm much more likely to swing steeper down into the ball. As I move down, the right elbow comes down. You can see I get a fair bit ahead of the ball and almost have to rock back. I'm using my 7-9 here, by the way. I have to rock back. And then the age-old problem, which I've had for a long time, and this is the time to really change this. As I move through the ball, you can see that the rotation of my hands is very, very fast. So the rate of closure with my club face is very, very fast through the point of impact. Now these changes that I want to make are all about improving my consistency, about making me a better golfer over a long period of time. So I don't have as many times when I'm hitting really, really bad shots. Now that quick release of the hands, that quick rotation of the hands, it means my timing has to be very good to hit consistently good shots. And that's not easy to do over a long period of time. And then you can see from here, just to give you a reference point from my backswing plane here as I take it away, as I get up to the top of that backswing, you can see that my downswing plane is much, much steeper. So my backswing plane is much, much steeper as it moves down into the ball than my backswing plane. And also, although I do manage to get the club travelling on a very slightly inside path, that change in plane, the very quick rotation of the hands, which shuts the club face down very, very quickly, these things do not make for consistent movements. And that's what I'm really, really battling against and trying to change.
And so here come the alterations. Now these are the changes that I'm going to make within my swing, and there are differences in the ball flight data, which I'm happy with. Certainly this second swing hits it a little bit further, a little bit higher as well, which is nice. I do like a little bit of a higher ball flight at times, as long as I can then adapt it to hit it lower. But also the strikes are much more consistent as well. Path numbers stay relatively similar, as do angle of attack numbers, but what I am able to do with this is just control those factors a little bit better. Now the setup, you can see, hasn't really changed too much, but on the takeaway, my thought process is to be much wider in the backswing. Much wider, and then feeling like my shoulders are rotating much, much more. Now if I do a direct comparison here between the two swings, you can see here on my normal swing where I'm just swinging, I'm taking it back. You can see here on the right side how my arms are just stretching out that little bit more. It's not masses, but you can see at the same point where my hands and my arms here, the club hasn't quite hinged as much. My arms are extending out that little bit more. And as I move up to the top of the swing, what I'm really focusing on at this point is to rotate my shoulders fully and feel like my right shoulder is much further behind me. So my right shoulder is much further behind me. Now what you can see that does, it just gets me rotating to a much fuller position at the top of the swing. What it also does, when you have a look at it from this down the line view, as well as it getting me much rotated, much fuller, it also gets that wider position with that club a little bit more behind me as well. So I'm not as on top of the shot as I was previously. From this position, I find it a lot easier to get that club moving on a much better and much similar plane down into the ball. Now it does move my path slightly more inside, but not much more, but it allows me to play a much more consistent draw. As well as coming from the inside here, as I move down into the point of impact, because I've got that position which is a little bit more behind me, I feel I can drop the club in a little bit more of a shallower plane, not quite take as deep divots. But also as I move through the ball here, you can see that the rotation that I make within my hands and with my arms is just much more delayed. Now that delay in the rotation of my hands and my arms, what that actually allows me to do is just control the club face that little bit more. At the point of this swing, obviously it's moving very, very fast. With this second swing, I can swing it faster as well. But as I move through the point of impact here, you can see at the same point within the goal swing, you can still see the top of my left hand here, whereas my left hand has been completely covered by my right hand in this position. So the rotation of the face here is much more under control, and I'm still hitting draws. That's the key really. I'm still hitting draws with this second swing while still having more control over the club face. Cunning combination, I think. And you can see also here in the finish position how I'm much wider, much prouder. Obviously the finish position you can manipulate, and you can make it look a lot better than it is, but this is really telling the story of what has gone before. This swing is now fuller, it is now prouder, it's now on a much more consistent plane back and through. It's just going to allow me to control the ball flight a little bit better as well.
Now I know you guys are going to want to know more answers and you're going to be asking a lot more questions, and please feel free to do so in the comments box below. I do not believe that my swing, after these changes are bedded in, will be the finished product. There's stuff that I've identified within my technique that I want to change more of. Certainly how I'm using my weight more, a little bit of footwork that I need to get right as well. There's stuff within my technique that does need to still change. However, when you are making a change to your swing and you're altering everything around, you can't try and do too many things at once. And this is a general tip to everyone. You need to make changes, get them bedded in before you move on. So I'm going to be practicing this pretty hard, really trying to get the feelings that I've just spoke about there. So it's getting that setup, getting that weight even on the feet, that big wide takeaway, getting that right shoulder turning back and behind, and just trying to deliver the club back in a little bit more of a consistent play, and just a little bit shallower. And then just trying to control the hand rotation a little bit more. And the ball flight there is much more of what I want to see. Starting off slightly right of target, it's a nice high draw. That is my preferred flight. Certainly recently I've been most consistent when I've been hitting a fade, but that's not the flight that I want to see. I like to see a draw. Certainly I have the ability within this technique and with the changes that I'm making to be able to hit a fade. That's not a problem. The problem is with my technique at the moment is I cannot consistently draw a golf ball just because of the steepness as I'm coming into the shot. It's either a pull or a pull draw, so that means I have to alter my aim quite considerably, and it's not a consistent way that I'm currently playing the game. So guys, please let me know what you think. These changes are going to be taking effect pretty much immediately. The vlogs from Spain that I did with Rick and the vlogs which are coming next week from Nelson, they were recorded before these swing changes, before anyone gets too excited or a little bit confused about why my swing doesn't quite look how I want it to, just in case. But please let me know what you think. I'm really excited about the changes. I feel already that they're going to be making a difference, and you know what, they don't feel too uncomfortable, so I can get these bedded in quite quickly. Fingers crossed anyway. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, more Quest for the Open videos and practice diary videos to come as well. I do hope you're enjoying them. All right guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time with a new swing, after the videos I've already recorded come out. It's probably about 3 weeks worth. Something like that.